I'm Nobuo Mimura, professor of Ibaraki University, and my original area is the coastal engineering in the civil engineering field, and I worked with the coastal erosion or coastal disaster issues, and as well as the water pollution. I went into the global environmental engineering field, and started the study of on the impact of sea level rise and climate change on the coastal community. Then now I expand to my interest to the whole picture of the impact of climate change and adaptation as a responses. My lecture is on the climate change impact, water resources. Climate change has a very big impact on the water sectors, and the impact is not related to the water resources. It's covered a wide range of changes in amount of precipitation and water resources uses, as well as the water-related disasters. So today's lecture started with the introduction of the concept of the climate change and hydrological cycle on the Earth. Then, based on the understanding of the basic concept, how the climate change interact with the hydrological cycle. This is one point. At the same time, the water circulation is not controlled by the natural phenomena like climate change, but also it is highly dependent on the human activities. So I stress the importance of both aspects of the natural and human induced activities. That is the first point. Then I went to the individual subject. First one is the water resources, and water resources occupied by the agricultural use and the industrial use and domestic use. So climate change certainly caused some uneven distribution of the water resources. In some part have more water, and while the other part have the more scarce water. So what the implication of that kind of changes to the water use? That is the subject, one subject. And then I went to the water-related disaster part, and this also covers the wide areas like river flood and sea level rise, coastal erosion, and storm surge, inundation, that kind of thing. And in terms of the river flood, I introduced the basic formulation of the water flood prediction. And then by using this model, we can introduce the hazard map for river flood. And I showed some example which is developed for northern part of Tokyo. And for the coastal zone, I focused on the sea level rise and coastal erosion, effect of the storm surges. And each country had their own its own problem. So we take Japan as example of the coastal erosion, and I also take Thailand as example for the erosion of mangrove, and the Bangladesh is a typical country which is suffering from the storm surge flooding. So by showing these countries, I introduced the effect of coastal disasters. And lastly, I briefly touch upon the responses in the form of adaptation to climate change.